Hello there, and welcome to this morning's devotion. This morning I would like to read to you from the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 7, where it says, "Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain." This is the third commandment, given by God directly to Moses on Mount Sinai. Now you may remember a few weeks ago that we talked about the power of the name of God. We discussed King David, who said, "The Lord forbid that I should do this thing." You see, in that instance, King David invoked the name of the Lord. However, did the future king of Israel take God's name in vain in this instance? No, far from it, for he directly acknowledged the Lord. And it was only because of what God had said that David would not lift up his hand against the Lord's anointed, King Saul, at this time. So, what does it mean to take God's name in vain? I believe that people today take God's name in vain in at least two ways. First, they use God's name without giving it the due respect that it deserves. They will invoke the name of God, but then they will leech onto it some other word of filth in order to show disgust. This is blasphemy. Or perhaps they will use his holy name as any other common phrase or expression, without giving the judge of all the earth his due reverence. This also is sin. However, there is another way, perhaps even a more insidious way, that we as Christians, the servants of the Most High God, take his name in vain. You see, when we as Christians keep sin in our hearts and in our lives, but then choose to call upon the name of the Lord without first acknowledging our transgressions, we also are taking God's name in vain. In Psalm 66, verse 18, we read, "If I regard iniquity in my heart, the Lord will not hear me." To call upon the name of the Lord with sin in our hearts is to break this third commandment. To ask of God our daily bread without having first asked for forgiveness of sins is vain. To cry out to our Maker without crying over our sins which grieve him, this also is to take God's name in vain. O Christian, ensure this morning that you start this day off right by praying to the Lord, "Forgive us our debts. For we did indeed at one time owe a debt of sin. But now, as the redeemed, we owe him forever and always a debt of gratitude." Thank you for joining me this morning, and I pray that you have a wonderful and great day. Goodbye.